Hi, it's Mitz from My Life Mitz. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I want to catch up on some of the pages, and yeah, it's going to be maybe like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, something like that. I thought it would be fun to get on here and do more of these like shorter sessions, because sometimes reality is you really don't have hours or an hour a day to, you know, catch up in the journals. So yes, let's see, I think I want to add some color to some of the pages. I also took out some stamps that I really want to use. These are from Sakura Lala. This one, and then this one I want to stick in my Hobonichi. So I tape this up. Henko Dori is such a sweet, very, very generous and sweet individual, and she always stamps out these little cute little tags and sends a very nice message, and so I wanted to stick it in here somewhere as well. Let's see if there's like a blank spot. Oh, I think there was a page here. And then this one I wanted to do, see, there's so many things. The fountain pens that I'm using, I wanted to doodle a bit. So I'm gonna have to, I might not be able to fit this in the Hobonichi. Let's catch up with some watercolor, and then if there's time, I'll do these stamps. Cute stamps from Sakura Lala. This is a collaboration with Love Soup, and oh my gosh, so cute. These are just like example ways of you can, for example, if somebody is doing a journal session, you can use these stamps to write that. Coffee, gardening, eating. And then these I have been wanting for the longest time, the alphabet stamps. This is in collaboration with Igloo Dining there. So yes, it might end up being a separate video, but I did take them out. Let's just jump right into adding some watercolor. My mug is actually white, but I just want to add a bit of shading. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. I just need like a little grayish type of, I'm not sure if that's catching up on camera, but just to add some kind of dimension. And yeah, I really don't need too much, and I don't know if you can see the watercolor seeping through. Thanks to my daughter, she kind of did a journaling spread in here, or more like a wash of watercolor, and then it bled through the spine. I think the page is somewhere in here, this one here. She liked this purple, I guess, and so yeah, just doing a very simple wash of that little bit of gray. This pink is actually watercolor, so if my brush is too wet and it touches the pink, it will bleed through. So I just kind of made sure that the gray that I added did not touch the pink. You can see there is that white space there. And then the top is also, it's actually black. So I don't have black here, but let's just mix some colors together and see how it will look. Some browns and blues. Oh, now that's too green. Now that's too blue. But yeah, I don't really know the color wheel too well, and I think it's something that I want to get into a little bit. Now, I'm not like an artist. This is just for me, and the journaling is more like just like playtime. So it's going to be very loosely colored there. It's not black, but you know, you can kind of get the gist of the mug there. And then this tin, somebody asked where I purchased it. It's a long time ago I purchased it from Amazon. I don't have it in the order, like the, what's it called, like the order history. So I thought I purchased it from Amazon, but it's just a very simple, standard, like no name watercolor pan, like it's an empty pan, and then I purchased these single pans separately. Some were gifted and some were purchased. There's even some, I don't think it's in here, but where I have the empty plastic pans and then I would squeeze in the watercolor. This is a bit wet still, so I don't think I will be able to add much color, but let's just swatch things out a little. There's something on the brush here, something stuck. Let's get some green. It's very random, and this is quite bright, so let's blend this out here with the watercolor that's on the page. Okay, and let's add some yellow. And a bit of different type of yellow here. Orange is kind of there. I don't have any browns. Let's add some brown there. This brown. Okay, so that's that. I want to brush this off a little bit. Oh, perfect. Coffee. Do you ever have, or maybe you've experienced this as well, you're doing something, for instance, in this case, I'm making coffee, but I'm thinking about something totally different. So my actions and the way my hands move are like, it doesn't correspond with what I'm supposed to do. So I was making coffee and I took the carton, but I didn't check the title, and it said Nomu yogurto, which is like a drinking yogurt. It's yogurt that's like thinned down that you can drink. And so I poured that in my mug, and usually with milk, the milk will kind of fluff up to the top and it kind of mixes on its own and it spreads out on its own. But this time I thought, my coffee is like really dark and the milk, I don't see the milk coming up to the top. And I thought to myself, maybe I didn't add enough milk. So I grabbed the carton again, and then I just add like a whole bunch more and realized, oh my gosh, it's yogurt. Yeah, so it totally ruined the coffee, and it's not a big deal, but just wanted to journal about simple things like that. And let's add some, I want to add some definition to the lettering here. So I'm going to grab my trusty Sakura Micron Pigma Fine, and the F, I really like this nib size. Let me show you a close-up. And just add some definition by outlining this one here. And it doesn't have to match exactly. You'll see a lot of white lines or me kind of going out of line, and yeah, it doesn't bother me. I really like the lining process. It's very relaxing. I know some people enjoy like fussy cutting and cutting out really detailed paper items. That for me is not enjoyable, but lining is very fun for me. And I think this is a bit dry. Usually I'll like outline so that it gives more of a definition, and I used to do it with like a 2.0, but this works just as well. Kind of not all of the lines, but just the outside parts and some parts that you want to make darker. This is still very damp, so I don't want to add too much to that, because then that will kind of bleed and spread out. Yeah, this is quite damp, so you might see a little bit of like smudging. So there's that. Let's see, what else was I gonna work on? This one, I don't know, I don't feel like coloring it in right now. These ones I might outline the lettering at a different time, but while I have you here, let's quickly do like a very light brush, like how I did with the mug that I just did, like a light brush of some shading. So I'm currently using the TWSBI diamond I received as a gift from Special Wima. I really like this fountain pen. It's one of my go-tos, and it has the Alt Gold Grün by Rohrer and Klingner, and then the diamond TWSBI Mini. It has the Autumn Oak from Diamine. This is the Sailor Professional Gear Mini, and this one, well, I'm gonna have to look at my notes, but yes, so there's that. And then the Sailor fountain pen here, the High Ace Neo. But these are the ones where I included like a different type of ink, and so I wrote those in here just very, like, I don't want to be too detailed. I'm going to grab that same, or it's kind of green now, but maybe if I add a little blue, will that help? Not sure if that will make it a little bit more gray, but if I water it down, probably I could draw, you can kind of see that it's, you can see the nib, but I think I'm just going to go with it as is, and just add some color to the edges, not all of them, but just a little bit to add some. This is perfect with all, like, I feel like this gray is a bit too dark. This gray here is just the perfect amount of water and paint, I feel. And this is more of a creamy color. There's a bit, maybe I'll do a bit more yellow. Not sure how that's going to work. I think it's going to look a little bit more green. But yeah, I don't mind not having color. I don't mind not coloring all the space. I find that adding the white space adds enough depth to it. It's very, very, you can see it's very rushed, and I kind of like that look. It's very like a sketchy look, and yeah, it's not perfect, but it's perfect for me. And then I think, of course it's still wet, so I might outline it later with the thicker nib, and maybe I'll add a bit of red on the top. I'm not sure if it shouldn't be too wet because the wash of watercolor is not too wet there. Perfect. I want to wash this red, so let's see if there's a spot where I can add to wash it off. Does anybody recognize this place? Anyways, so there's that quick video, just outlining and adding a bit of color to the fountain pens there. Let me write out the names. So this is the TWSBI Diamond 580 in the, what nib is this? Extra fine. The ink is Alts. This one is the TWSBI Mini. The nib is fine nib, and the inside is Diamine Autumn Oak. It's such a pretty color. I think I didn't wash it out properly because there's little bits of, like, little flecks of the previous ink still inside. Yeah, it's probably not catching up on camera. I'm trying to film this with one hand, but yeah, it's probably not showing up the different little speckles or sparkles on the bottom there. But there's that, and then this is the Sailor Pro Gear, and the ink is, sorry, the tip is medium. The ink is Yamatori. All right.